From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LA, direct from Santa Monica with your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. Incredible great news and breaking news today about that $3.5 trillion recon. As the progressives once again another day hold their position that everything passed is staying passed. That $3.5 trillion recon passed a House Budget Subcommittee, and everything that passed is staying passed. Hazard pay in cluster number 1 and $4,000 for elder care passed in cluster number 1. Cluster number 2, home repairs and paid leave are among the items. In cluster number 2, they're passed. And then cluster number 3, seniors and free internet in there and passed. All items, say the progressives of both the House and Senate, are staying passed. No items are getting reduced, and no items are getting removed. So what are the changes coming? The changes are on the back end, the duration of the programs, and the taxes that pay for the programs. Then we have incredible great news about third stimulus with that additional cash infusion for rent and utilities. And look at what one viewer says. When I got your message about pouncing for that extra $13 billion for rent, I got it. And I got $6,000 for 8 months. I am so excited for her. Meantime, exciting great news about that inclusion of that IRS stimulus check as Demi picked up the phone and called and advocated. And Schumer, Warren, and Sanders, the Holy Trinity, all telling Stebby Applegate that IRS stimulus check will be going in there. The incredible details as we go into a second half of the day is that IRS stimulus check has been told by no less than 1,000 viewers of this channel by those congressional leaders going in there, will be going in there. I'll go over all the incredible details at Afternoons. And then we cut back to the exciting details of fifth stimulus if we have a little bit of time. But we'll be going over the big dramatic details that happened with Bernie yesterday and what are happening with Bernie today. It's a big day with a lot of breaking news. It's a big afternoon with great stuff, and it all starts right here, right now, direct from Santa Monica on your Afternoons LALATE. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are. The weather got cooler here along the coast, so wrap up and put some clothes on there. In this recording, we'll go over all the incredible details about that fourth stimulus check update of 2021 as more viewers advocating and their avocation has worked. We'll go over that first, second, and third cluster of checks passed. A $3.5 trillion recon passed. And guess what? It's not going to be unpassed, if there ever was such a verb. We'll go over all the dramatics that unfolded with Bernie, and then we'll be cutting back over to fourth stimulus and a little bit to fifth stimulus if we have some time as well. We'll go over all the incredible news and that big success story as another viewer heard my message to pounce. And within just less than a week of me recording about the $13 billion for rent, she got $6,000 for 8 months of rent in the big red state of Texas. We can do it. We can do it big, and we can do it in Texas. And this is Afternoons LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. People making fortunes on this channel. And today is your day to get big money. I'm going to show you how you can get big money today. Not 5 weeks from now and not 5 months from now, starting right now. Like the video and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Meantime, let's go over what has happened in the last few days. A few days ago, the House Subcommittee of the Budget Committee of the House passed a $3.5 trillion recon. Broadcast media never covered it, print media never showed it, and YouTube channels don't even know what happened. That passage of that $3.5 trillion recon is what we call the recon substantive, because one, the recon procedural passed in both the House and Senate by law in that vote in the month of August. That's the recon procedural where they agreed to do a recon. Then they did the recon substantive, which is the body. How are they going to spend the money? And they agreed. $3.5 trillion package passed in a House Budget Committee 2 weeks ago. I guess it's about 2.5 by now. The clusters all got in there. Clusters number 1 passed, and then cluster number 2 passed, and here's cluster 1, and cluster number 3 passed as well. We'll go over all these incredible clusters. We'll go over why they're not changing anything. We'll go over what they will change, and then we'll go over, of course, that IRS stimulus check that they represent they're adding in. But let's first start with the first cluster passed, which is hazard pay, and $4,000 for elder care and other items. That first cluster is deliciousness. It starts with hazard pay, and hazard pay is getting in there by taking an old tax code called the Earned Income Tax Credit, broadening the eligibility so more people qualify for it, and then increasing the amount of money. Then they got up to $4,000 a year for care for elder people at home, huge. Then up to $4,000 a year to care for a young child. They got money in there to repair your home. Yes, if you live in a low-income community, there'll be free money to repair your home. They got $51,000 of MSCs in there, monthly stimulus checks. That is the CTC. They brought in the CTC, the child tax credit, so more people qualify for it as parents, and it pays longer duration. How much? Up to $300 every month, every year, up to 18 years per child. As that household is in a low-income household, that's $51,000 a child. Then they got money in there for college students, grants to the universities, grants to the students, and the Pell's grant tax-free. And finally, they got money in there for bikes, cars, and trucks, all electric, all U.S. auto manufactured. First, up to 15% of the purchase of a new electric bike, then up to $7,500 for the purchase of a new electric car, personal use, a little bit more for business use, and then one for the truck. Wow. In a second, we're going to go to the second cluster of checks, but it was no less than 2 weeks ago. I told viewers this channel that there's an additional $13 billion laying to cities, counties, and states for rent. Here was the news statement I read on camera, and that money is landing now, this week. I want you to get it. Treasuries happen to provide these state and local governments with additional resources to help Americans in time of rental assistance. I told you to pounce. I'll show you later in this video how to pounce, but let's look at the success story right off the bat. I mean, this is a great success story. Hey, LALATE, I want to thank you so much. When you mentioned the extra $13 billion that's going out to each state automatically, I emailed the city of Austin, and I want to thank you. And I was able to apply. They sent me out the application. I got approved through November. I'm getting $6,000 for 8 months. That is success. That's what this channel is about. This channel is about getting money on the hour. Here we go into cluster number 2's checks. These are home repairs and paid leave. Wow. So let's go over the second cluster of checks and how they work. First, paid leave, family leave, medical leave. Remember, this entire recon is for everyone, all walks of life, SSI, SSDI, every state, red or blue. It's not COVID related. How much does this pay? Up to $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year, family leave, medical leave. Split in half. Let's say you make $35,000 a year. That's $800 a week. Wow. Let's split in half. Up to $400 a week. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of money if you make $15,000 a year. Family leave, you have to stay home because your wife is pregnant. Medical leave, you have to stay home because your son broke his leg. These are huge amounts of money. What are some of these other checks in this second cluster? Well, they got money in there to weatherize the home. I love that. Weatherizing your home, definitely needed, especially if the moderate Democrats are on the roof. As I always say, keep the moderate Democrats out of the House, and if possible, keep them out of the Senate. There you go. Then we got other checks in the second cluster: child care programs checks, household tax credit checks, checks for seniors, which are also repeating cluster number 3. We'll go over them again there. Dental, vision, and hearing checks, and then free pre-kindergarten and free community college. Definitely needed to take the free community college. I mean, this is across the country. This is huge because there's always someone like Russell says, I don't understand what you're saying. So I'm going to take that class called LALATE 101. It's called What the World is LALATE Saying? And once you become fluent, then you can take the advanced class called Los Angeles, the foreign language, LALATE 202. There you go. And that is second cluster checks. What is Congress doing? What is Congress not doing? In the last few hours, Bernie Sanders has really been on a run. I'm gonna call it a run. On a run with Joe Manchin. He basically embodied the purple power spirit. He advocated like no one has really ever seen it. Bernie Sanders advocate. If you were on social media yesterday, you really saw people just impressed, overwhelmingly impressed by saying, I've never seen someone advocate so strongly. What was basically the topic of the discussion? Joe Manchin had said something about one of the programs, And I may have been the elder care, I think it was. And he said, that's just sort of an entitlement thing. It was very sort of disparaging. And Bernie Sanders just really said, no, I'm going to go right behind the on the stage of the Senate press room. I'm going to get the beautiful backdrop, and I'm going to tell the press why America needs it. Who is he speaking to? He's not speaking to Joe Manchin. He's speaking to the American people, speaking to the viewers of West Virginia and the listeners of Arizona, saying, I want to advocate to you why you need it. And that's what we do on this channel. Let's go to the third cluster of checks. We'll go over more about Bernie Sanders' comments in a second. That third cluster of checks got in there, and these are huge. Remember, this is the recon that passed, a $3.5 trillion recon that passed about 2 weeks ago, and it's staying passed. And that third cluster are, of course, money for seniors and also free internet. These are huge. I'm really excited about this third cluster. The items in this third cluster are just game changers. Free school meals for all, then cheaper prescription medication. It's checks for farmers, checks for free internet, checks for workers like independent contractors, and checks for seniors like lowering the eligibility age for Medicare, checks for dental, checks for vision, and checks for hearing care. This third cluster is so great because it's instant savings to the American people. And that's why the president particularly likes them. I like them. Two of the checks in the third cluster are just wonderful. First, cheaper prescription medication. If you go to the pharmacist today and say, I need a prescription, what's wrong? I have a very bad headache. Oh, what's going on, LA? You've been listening to the moderate Democrats too much? Yeah, how'd you know? Well, let me give you a solution. What's that? Seats for stimulus. Oh, okay. No, I need a prescription. Okay, it's $40. You take two $20 bills out of your wallet to pay for it. After this becomes law, then all the prices are slashed in fractions, and you may only have to take out one $20 bill. Then they're going to give free internet across the country. Definitely incredible. Red, blue, rich, poor states, everyone's going to get it. Federal government's going to give fortunes to the cities so that they can run their own internet company. Makes sense. All you have to do is say, what's the username and password? The username is a cinema, no more. And the password is mansion move out of the way. There we go. In the second half of this video, we'll be going over more about the dramatic speech between Bernie and everyone else in the last few hours. But first, let's go over the big exciting news when we look at that monthly IRS stimulus check. Now, if you've been a viewer of this channel, you know how I always stress to understand how things work. As in 2020, I always went over the importance of understanding every nuance of an EIDL application, every word, everything. And it's important when you're looking at the recon that you hear and you listen, you understand where things are going. Over the last 8 weeks, 1,000 viewers of this channel have been told by senators and House members that they will, notice that tense of that verb, will be adding a monthly IRS stimulus check provision to the for stimulus recon package. Now, what's important to understand is what passed that in that House subcommittee, no less than 2 weeks ago, is not a bill. I've said that a few times on camera. It's not a bill. It's actually a package. And Pelosi and the president said when they passed it that if you want to add stuff, you can add stuff. It's in fact Pelosi's office who told viewers of the channel she will be adding it. Over the last 8 weeks, House and Senate Democrats have told no less than 1,000 viewers of the channel they're adding in a monthly stimulus check when they get it to bill format. Now let's listen to that clear wording of those sentences, because this morning I had someone in one of the morning shows who simply sort of removed half of that sentence. The viewer called up one of the offices of a congressional leader asking, is there a stimulus check in the bill? Wow, how many things are wrong with that sentence? Number one, we don't have the bill yet. Number two, it's a package. Number three, the package is not done. As Pelosi and the president had said that Saturday night and said all last week, and I've been saying almost every recording, that it's sort of like an envelope. You want to add stuff in there, you can add stuff in there. It's not done. It's not a bill. It's not a bill until it's on the House floor. It's in the House subcommittee at the moment. And those Democrats, whether it's Sanders, Schumer, Casey, Coons, Warren, AOC, Omar, Pelosi, they've all said they will be adding it in there. So this viewer sort of went up, picked up the phone like she's Dora the Explorer. Can I find that check in the bill? And where is it? Excuse me, we don't have a bill. Oh, and unfortunately, the viewer said she broke down in tears. Why? There is no bill. We don't have the bill. We have the package, and we're adding stuff to the package. And then when it's a bill, then it's done. Now, here's what you also need to remember, is that we go over excruciating detail on this channel, the steps in which things are done. you have two opportunities to add monthly IRS stimulus checks in there, House side and Senate side. So if the House members don't get it done, the senators can always get it done. Remember the two steps of possibilities of where you add it. While they're doing the package, they can add it on the House side. Number one. Then it calls for a vote on the House side. Number two, they can do it on the Senate side and during the 2-day vote-a-rama at the very end of the whole process. The senators get whatever the House got done, sent over to the Senate. They look at it and they say, I don't know. You left out? Oh, you left it out? No, I'm going to put it in. And that's why the senators are perhaps more important in the equation than the House members. And that's why I've always been ecstatic to report to you the exclusive of that the House would vote first and the Senate would vote last, because the senators can always add stuff in during the vote-a-rama at the end. And who determines when things are called during a vote-a-rama? Chuck Schumer. And that's why this comment from Debbie yesterday. Yes, this is brand new. This is brand new today. This is from Debbie Applegate, a longtime viewer of this channel. She writes, I called offices of Schumer, Warren, and Sanders, and this, of course, she advocated, and was told by all that there would be a fourth stimulus check. This follows Donnie's wife. You're going to meet Donnie in a second, but Donnie's wife called Schumer's office last week and got the same confirmation. Wow, it's just getting started. It's just getting exciting. I have all these incredible details and more. We got a big afternoon show, a lot of breaking news, and a lot of new stuff. I'll see you in just 60 seconds as the excitement continues. But first, here's a little bit about the community page and how to get that big money for rent and utilities. See you back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on afternoons LALATE as the server's up, and so is the stimulus. In the second half of this video, we'll go over all the dramatics that's unfolding with the President and the Senate. We got great news as your $3.5 trillion recon passed, so now I'll explain to you what comes up next. We'll be going over a little bit more about those clusters, more importantly, also the inclusion of that IRS stimulus check. I'll explain to you what's going on. We'll explain a little bit more about advocacy. We'll go over what they'll modify with that recon and why that modification won't concern you. It's deliciousness, and it's only here on Afternoons LALATE. We'll be cutting over to that third stimulus and how that viewer got that massive payout out of the city of Austin. You can be the next one because this money is everywhere. And I have so much great news. I'm so excited you're here. We're going to have a great afternoon, and it all starts right now. And this is LALATE. So subscribe. A 400,000 subscribers YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto, then Evenings LALATE, then our new hit show, Evenings Countdown, which is literally right after, no less than 10 minutes after Evenings LALATE, and then we got shows at 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11:30 tonight. Be joining me with those shows, and I'll be in a live chat to say hi to you as well. We got a lot coming up. And first, let's go over the exciting details that no one saw coming. The details are the following. It was over the weekend we learned the incredible big detail that Bernie Sanders' top aide in his staff told a longtime viewer of this channel, one of the original viewers of this channel, that his staff is now relying upon your advocacy to help get that monthly stimulus check over the finish line and the recon over the finish line. What's at issue? Sanders' office reports to this viewer, his top aide reports to his viewer's channel, that Sanders' office is so impressed by your advocacy, by your statements of why you need stuff, that they're keeping track of it. Whether it's a voicemail, a call, an email, they're keeping track of it. Why? Because during the negotiations with any other side, they want to show this is the face of Americans, red states, blue states, Texas, California, Florida, New York, viewers that are Republican, viewers that are conservative, viewers that are liberal, viewers that are Democrats. They all want these items. They're all picking up the phone, and they're even picking up the phone from the states of Arizona. They're even picking up the phone from the states of West Virginia. And they're LATE viewers. And LATE, with the biggest platform on the planet, has brought these viewers together to say, let me tell you what's in this recon. It's important to understand that if you pick up broadcast media never tells you a recon passes in the subcommittee of the House, never tells you what are these clusters of checks, never really takes any time to tell you any of these items. I mean, that's no different than what they did last year. I never even knew about EIDL from broadcast media. They never even mentioned EIDL existed. I started an entire channel based upon telling people what this thing was and getting people $25 million of it. People need information. And that's why the viewers of this channel with that information have been able to advocate. I've been telling viewers the importance of advocacy. And now I said, if you advocate to those House and Senate offices, they'll start to resonate saying, have you been getting those phone calls of advocacy? They're so professional, they're so respectful, and they are so impassioned. I have. Keep track of them. And that's what they're now doing. It's huge because now a few of the things I've been telling you over the weekend happened yesterday. I told you that Ben Tolchin, who's a Democratic pollster and former pollster for Bernie Sanders, of course, as well, said that Obama would have done differently than Biden. Obama would have gone to the state of West Virginia Arizona, and spoken to Kristen Sinema's residents to say, do you like the recon? Oh, you do? Well, tell Kristen Sinema to do it. Well, that's what I've been doing because I have viewers in Arizona. I have viewers in West Virginia. And I had one viewer from Arizona pick up the phone, pick up the pen and send me a beautiful message on Facebook saying, you know what? I'm in Arizona. I have 400 friends that are all going to pick up the phone and advocate because we all want this money. That's why if you pick up the phone, you advocate and you say, I'm an LA viewer, say what state you're from. If you're from Arizona, say you're from Arizona and advocate. And then it turned very fascinating because yesterday and today, Bernie Sanders did a version of what I'm talking about. I told you I'm a little bit more along the lines of an Obama. I would say, go right to my Arizona viewers and say, if you like this, tell Kristen Sinema you'll like it. Well, that's what Bernie Sanders did yesterday. He appeared in the best platform he can in the Senate press room before press and said, you know what? The people of these states want these things. Why should two Democratic senators say I'm not going to do it when their own residents want them to do it? Do you think he's relying upon some sort of information from some sort of YouTube website? It just sort of sounds like it sounded exactly like what we've been talking about. He came to the press, say, I have a lot of messages from people that are in these states and they want this money. There you go. So let's go over that big IRS inclusion of that stimulus check. And it starts right now. It was 8 weeks ago where I said, pick up the phone and call to advocate for the inclusion of that IRS stimulus check in the forced stimulus recon. And WR called, a longtime viewer of this channel, picked up the phone and called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's old confidant. And Coons' office said, yes, I'm going in there. It's going in there. Thank you for your advocacy. It was 3 weeks ago that you saw things move very quickly on this channel. And that's when I told you the House would write the legislation that they did, that the House would introduce it to a subcommittee, namely the budget subcommittee, first for a vote before it goes to the House floor. They did. And that Bernie Sanders is important to the equation. He is. 3 weeks ago, Bernie Sanders said that unlike prior budget chairmen of the House, of the Senate side, I like to get out amongst the people when I'm doing a recon. That means he wants to hear from you. I said, pick up the phone and advocate. Say why you need it, why your family needs it. And Lynn Glenn, Brother Joshua, and Margaret did. They picked up the phone and advocated. Now let's go over what advocacy is and what advocacy isn't. You know, I don't like to go over too much of something isn't, but I want to do it a little bit more in this video today based upon what I showed you earlier in this video. Advocacy involves picking up the phone and advocating for why you need something. It is not, advocacy involves saying your story. Everyone has a unique story. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's medical, maybe it's a business related issue. I need this because. I need it because of my family. I need it because of my church, my business, my home, my town, my city. I need to tell you what's unique. Have you not been to my town? Let me tell you what's going on with my town. I want to tell you why the business never reopened and the customers never came back. I want to tell you why I need it. That's what advocacy is. It's a series of sentences that all are periods. They have a period at the end. They don't have a question mark. It doesn't end with, oh, so do I get the prize? It doesn't end with, okay, so I pitched you an advocacy. So do I get the money? You're not going up to ask. You're going up to advocate. In fact, it's almost like you're just trying to impart a message and have the person say, thank you for the message. Thank you. The conversation should basically be over by then. I want to call up and advocate why I want something. You're not calling up to ask something. And this is what's very important. And that's why I brought that message from that viewer earlier today. She clearly wanted to just call up and ask if she's getting money. That's not advocacy. That's not advocacy. Pick up the phone and saying, am I getting a check? Is a check $1? Is a check $10? When am I getting? What month am I getting it? Am I getting it? When am I getting it? Is it in the bill? There is no bill yet. Is it in the package? The package is not done yet. They're adding things to the package. Has it been written up yet? That's not advocacy. That's not advocacy. Now, let's also understand the following, that when you advocate, the purpose of advocacy is to send a message. The purpose of advocacy is not to get a, yes, there's a check in this, yes, we're going to do a check. The purpose of advocacy is to send a message. So let's say you do all that. Let's say you absolutely do it correctly and say, I need it, my family needs it, my community needs it. Thank you. I appreciate that. The conversation is over at that point. Hang up the phone and pick up and call up another office. The purpose to stay on the phone is not, you should not be staying on the phone and say, so now that I've advocated, do I get what's behind curtain number one? What do you mean? I just did such a great advocacy for you. If that was the case, if that was what advocacy was, then Bernie Sanders would never have to have had the press conferences of yesterday and today. When he picked up, he stood in front of the Senate press room with the press and say, I need to tell you why people of Arizona need to support this. He didn't need to do that if he had already advocated before. Rather, he felt he needed to advocate again because he's seen a pushback from Kristen Sinema. That's what advocacy is. And that's what Brother Joshua did. Lynn Glenn and Margaret did. Brother Joshua was a longtime volunteer at the community page. Got viewers fortune in the thick of the pandemic. And he's a Purple Hawk. And he picked up the phone and advocated for you and for a stimulus check and his church and his town and his community. And Sanders' office said, yes, $1,000 to $1,300 for 3 to 6 months, but you need to tell us that you support us. Again, that's advocacy. That's not like instructing us to do something. That's advocating. Sanders' office told Brother Joshua at the time, I need to hear people advocating for this as well. I said, pick up the phone and advocate. I said, pick up the phone and advocate. I did not say pick up the phone and treat them like FedEx tracking tool. And Donnie heard me, God bless his soul, beautifully. And here's what Donnie wrote. Donnie picked up the phone and advocated. And you met Donnie's wife earlier in this video. Here's Donnie. Great family. I called Bernie Sanders' office and I said, my city needs it. I need it. I need to progress. I need it for everything that's going on. I need it for my water. And she said, okay, they're doing a forced stimulus check. Hurricane Tina picked up the phone and advocated as well. And they said it's forced stimulus check is going in there. Carolyn picked up the phone and called Bernie Sanders' office, said people are losing their homes and what they got. And they agreed. Purple Power Yaya spoke with Ron Wyden's staffer, and Wyden's office promised that it's going in there. Remember that these are viewers. These are longtime viewers. This is Donnie. This is Hurricane Tina. This is Carolyn. This is Yaya. These are viewers you know. These are viewers who are on this channel for over a year. When they write something on the live chat, I post it in the video. This is not me picking up the phone. This is the viewer picking up the phone. And the viewer being told what's going on. Let's go to what happened then when we learned the importance of picking up the phone and calling multiple offices. Will did that. Here's what Will did. I called Bernie, Warren, and Schumer, and all three of their secretaries confirmed a stimulus check. And I was told by Liz Warren's office that they're doing it, that they asked the amount I want, and they said Senator Warren is doing $1,400 to $2,000 6 to 12 months. Lorica picking up the phone with Bob Casey's office, and Casey's office saying they're currently negotiating the amount. It was at that point no less than 1,000 viewers this channel had picked up the phone and called Senator Coons, Sanders, Warren, and Schumer, Casey, Wyden, advocating for that inclusion of that stimulus check, and got confirmation of its inclusion. Then AOC, Omar, and Jalapal and Pelosi need to hear your message. So I told viewers to pick up the phone and call, and they did. Janice, who's an absolute wonderful viewer, picked up the phone and called every person I can call, and Jalapal said that they're doing a forced stimulus check. The messages kept on coming in with Mark, who picked up the phone and called Nancy Pelosi's office. This is what Mark wrote, that there would be a fourth check in the amount of $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter, 6 to 12 months, and they're currently negotiating across the board. That is what had happened and continues to happen. Last week, we had the incredible comment from Donnie's wife calling up Chuck Schumer's office, and Schumer's office saying, after she advocated, yes, it would go in there. Then we had AOC, Omar, Pelosi, Bernie's office multiple times after people advocated saying, yes, it's going to go in there. Remember, these are viewers making the calls. It's not me making a promise. I'm not promising anything. These are not my representations. These are not my promises. I'm a news reporter, and I'm reporting what my viewers, 450,000 of them, have done in picking up the phone. They call, they post it to the channel, it gets posted on the channel. That is a viewer. You don't believe the viewer? Then don't believe the viewer. You don't believe Hurricane Tina? You don't believe Yaya? You don't believe Mark, you don't believe Lorraine, you don't believe, those are the viewers. These are the viewers who picked up the phone and advocate for you. And it's very easy for you to sit at home and do nothing and then say negative things about viewers. Now, with that, with a strange, unusual event, I'm going to address something I rarely address on this channel. I want you to first understand that this channel is a safe and loving place to be. But since 2020, there has been one particular person who is a male, who is out of the East Coast, who has assumed no less than nearly 100 different personalities, fake YouTube personalities, fake Twitter accounts, fake Instagram accounts, and has tried to come into this channel and bother viewers on a regular basis. He's a married male, and he tries to hit on females. He tries to slide into people's private messages. He tries to befriend them. Part of his anger grows from when we realize who that person is and he gets banned. Then he takes it out on me because then he cannot come back into the channel and flirt with these women who want nothing to do with him, obviously. The problem of that situation is that the person has now continued to do it on a regular basis. So how can you protect yourself? If you're on Twitter and you see a person who has no Twitter followers, 0 Twitter followers, that is going after another Purple Power viewer, be careful. If you see a person with no Instagram followers, that has nothing on the Instagram account, and that is going after you or trying to slide into your messages and try to befriend you and talk about stuff, be very, very cautious. Remember, this person also likes to be involved with financial transactions with you. Yeah, he's not a particularly good person. So we're very aware of the person, the volunteers, the community, know who this person is. I want you to be very aware of this person. And what is this person's purpose? His purpose is for you not to have happiness. And his purpose is to start a separate narrative of incorrect information across the board. All right, now let's go over to the big exciting details of third stimulus. And I'm really so excited as that one viewer found the incredible details of this channel about that money for rent. Remember I told you there's additional $13 billion and you need to pounce. I love this viewer. Her name is Prina, and she listened carefully when I said there was additional $13 billion for rent available in Austin, in every country, actually every state, city, county, that's red, blue, and purple. And she's certainly in a red state. She picked up the phone and she writes the following. I immediately pounced on it and I emailed the city of Austin once again and informed them of what was going on and I would like to apply for more assistance. Last Thursday, they sent me the form to fill out, and the day before yesterday, I got approved for November through January. Wow. I didn't see that part. That's wonderful, Prina. She's now also following my second advice, getting the money as far into 2022 as possible. So now I have been helped with $6,000 for 8 months. Boy, I am just so excited for Prina. I just want to hug her for that. That is incredible. Get that pen paper ready when you go over big money that you can get just like Prina. It starts right now. We get some rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgage assistance. And it starts with that pen, paper, and that cell phone getting it ready. We're going to go over that rent, and the rent has gone up a lot in the last few weeks. So has the utilities, and so has the SNAP. First, I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6. They have different eligibility. They have different pots of money. Number 2, list of the keywords I say in this video. And then number 3, get ready for the nonprofits. Here are the 6 places you reach out to. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, and State House Authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. Now, what I want you to remember is that if you are a member of this channel, which I hope you are, the link is on the video, open that Treasury statement that Prina is referring to that I talked about earlier in this video so that you know what you're talking about before you call up. Prina followed my advice perfectly. She understood what the money was. She knew that we all knew that Austin had money for rent, months ago, but she understood that there was another cash infusion to Austin in a red state, Texas, and she called up and said, I want to get that money. Oh, we just got it. Come and apply. She got it. She didn't wait because remember what I say to you, this money's not going to be around for weeks, maybe days. All right, next, reach out to utility companies. If you got 5, reach out to 5. And this goes to Prina and everyone else. If you just got a big success like a Prina, I want you to go get some utilities now. 4 or 5 utility companies, reach all of them. Then one of the things I said a few days ago, I want to remember to say out right now, it's great information, is that you can get money from multiple sources. So like Prina got rent to, I think it was January, go reach out to the nonprofits, try to get rent from January to March next year. Try to get multiple sums of money. Don't stop at one. It's sort of like you get the adrenaline. Once you have one success, you want to do another one. It happens all the time. That's how Lorraine went from 105 to now 110. She keeps on getting more money. All right, then the big money then that comes from the nonprofits. What are the nonprofits? There are 5 nonprofits I'm going to go over, and the greatest thing to remember is that first they pay for all the same items on the third stimulus generally, but with different eligibility. So if you're one of those people that feels that you have an eligibility problem with your city and county, then reach out to the nonprofits. And who are they? United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charity, St. Vincent de Paul. Number 2, remember that the nonprofits pay for items that the federal government doesn't pay for. So I had one viewer who was a homeless viewer who contacted me from his car. I said, hey, reach out to the nonprofits, United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. Also, it's important to understand they do things that third stimulus never had, like money for homeless people in the shelter, clothing, also food, and sometimes home repairs and small appliances. I had 2 viewers get refrigerators. Another one got a furnace, and one got a window fixed as well. All right, next, money for SNAP. SNAP you get from Department of Agriculture. And boy, I don't think there's ever been a bigger success on this channel, most broadly felt as SNAP. There are so many tens of thousands of viewers who have gotten SNAP because of this channel. I'm so overwhelmed because they will get this money lifetime. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $21,000 every year because of his channel, and now it's $26,000 a lifetime every year because of his channel. Why? Because Department of Agriculture is raising everyone's benefits up an average of 25% automatically starting in the month of October, this one. So wait for that money. It's everywhere nationwide. Next, the 2 pots of money coming back from unemployment. Let's go over them. First, the refund check from your state due to overpayment and computer error, it's landing anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. And then finally, the refund check from the federal government for that 2020 tax return you paid unemployment benefits on. It's anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000. Reach out to get that big money. You can do an irs.gov transcript search. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? The Purple Hawk link is under the video. People who are in the live chat have a Purple Hawk next to their name. If you've had a success story, post in the live chat. You inspire people. Daily at about 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I deliver out to viewers the membership newsletter. The membership newsletter features all the big money under first, second, and third stimulus for you to get. I want you to read that newsletter because now it includes the nonprofits and also it includes the Treasury statement. It's big because viewers like Johnny, $80,000 for this channel, Mark, $51,000, Lorraine, $105,000. I want you to be one of those next viewers as well. You can get the money, and just like just like the one viewer out of Austin, we showed she got $6,000. I want you not to stop there. I want you to start making the phone calls on the other items and get those other items. Finally, I had a wonderful viewer send a comment in the morning show. I reminded her what I see on the camera. Holiday Christmas gifts. Now is our first week of October. Get them now from Salvation Army. So I'm making this very, very clear because I don't want to say I didn't say it later on. If you want to get your holiday gifts now, get them from Salvation Army. Reach out. They do it now. Do not start posting about holiday gifts the week before the 20th of December because they do that money now. They do it 2 months in advance. Finally, the big exciting details as we go into a big night and big afternoon is we got a lot to cover, and I only got 5 minutes left. Wow. Our running time is just running on this video. Let's go over what the Democratic progressives are doing with that recon and go over what this means, that all the items are staying in and then nothing's being reduced and something's being changed. Let me explain what's going on. Here is what's going on. The Democratic progressives, which are both on the House side and the Senate side, have confirmed today again, as they confirmed yesterday, that everything that is passed is staying passed. And what's important to understand is that we had a recon procedural that became law. That became a law passed on the House side and the Senate side, that there would be a $3.5 trillion recon. Next step was the recon substantive. And that recon substantive went to a budget committee called the House Sub-Budget Committee, and they passed the $3.5 trillion recon programs. They passed what these programs would be in there. Not the final programs, but these are the programs to start with. They can still add them in there, like those IRS stimulus checks. There's a series of programs in all these different clusters, and each program has a different payout. Pays out $4,000 to care for the elderly people at home, 15% for the bike. You got it. So what do the progressives made very clear? 100% consistently clear that every program in the recon is staying in there. What we passed, we are not undoing. We spent a lot of time at trying to get this passed. It's passed. We are not taking out any programs. Number two, no program in there is going to get watered down. So instead of $4,000 to care for the elderly people, it's not going to be $2,000. It's going to be the amount we approved. That is huge. And that's what Bernie Sanders said today. That's what Bernie Sanders said yesterday. Why was he taking issue with Joe Manchin? Because Joe Manchin was trying to suggest that maybe some of the programs need to be taken out. Warning signal. Set off the warning lights. Sound the alarm as soon as you hear a moderate Democrat say, take out programs from the recon. Oh, no. That is where you just have the fire-breathing dragons of the progressives come out and say, no. It's it's like mother hen protecting the chicklets. No, you are not taking out programs from this recon ever. And that's what Bernie Sanders said. So what do they change on the back end? And this is where it gets a little bit complicated. Let me tell you broad stroke. It doesn't concern you. But let me explain what they change on the back end. What progressives can change on the back end. And what I said they would, and what we have now gotten confirmation from Jalopal that they are, and from Sheila Jackson, the number 2 in the progressives under Jalopal, is the following. First, Jalopal confirms my exclusive from over the weekend that the progressives can bring in the time horizon on the programs. So, Bernie originally brought them in, let's say, from 20 years to 10 years, by bringing it from 7.5 trillion to 3, and from 7 trillion to 3.5 trillion. They can bring it in a little bit tighter, like taking it from 10 years to 8 years. So instead of 3.5 trillion, then it's like 2 point whatever. That's the first idea that I showed you over the weekend. Guess what? Jalapal confirmed that same thing. She said, we're not taking out programs, but we can shorten the duration. There you go. Another exclusive confirmed by Jalapal. Number 2, Sheila Jackson, the number 2 in the Progressive Caucus, explains the back end. And this is really fascinating. Very, very confusing, but fascinating. A program that is in there that pays to you a certain amount of money would continue to pay the amount of money as it's so planned. But how the program is funded through corporate and wealth taxes, the back end, the corporate and wealth taxes can get modified. So, for example, instead of the corporate tax rate being 28%, it could be 25.5%. Instead of the wealth tax being X percent, it can be this percent. And that could shrink the bill from 3.5 down to something on the back end differently. Doesn't take the program out, doesn't pay you any less money. That's how they get it done. A lot of details. And what's important to understand is that you may expect to think that maybe there's going to be a lot of changes in the recon's dramatics other than the inclusion of that stimulus check. There shouldn't be. Let me make clear. You should not be coming on camera, pressing play, and expecting me to say, oh, hi, good morning. They took out 23 things from the recon today. News at 11. No, you don't want to hear that recording, because that's not the recording that you're going to hear on this channel, because the progressives specifically said, we're not taking anything out of the recon. So I want you to understand, you want to come on in every video and say, oh, good, he did say everything's staying in the recon, because that's what the progressives said. The recon is done. The recon is done with the exception of stuff to add in. It will not get smaller. It will get bigger. And so you do not want to press play and say, oh, so he just said the recon's still passed again. Yeah, because it is still passed. It's not going to have anything taken out. Bernie Sanders, Al Omar, Jalapal, AOC, Warren, Sheila Jackson all said, we're done. We're not taking anything out. We're done. So if you expect some sort of dramatics of how I say, oh, by the way, the deal has now been peeled. No. You ain't not going to hear that on this channel unless every progressive rolls over and just sort of, gets a new hairstyle. And with that, it's been dealed, not peeled. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto, and then we have Evenings LA at 5 p.m. Then we have our new hit show, Over Evenings Countdown, at 6 p.m. Then we got shows at 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Remember, dealed, not peeled, and this is not the Tomato Channel either. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers to YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000 to 3,000 likes. I love it. I love you. Keep it calm and keep it positive. Keep it informed. Keep it moving, keep it loving, treat one with respect and kindness, and stay with Ally for more.